What future does the youth of Nigeria have in the government of President Muhammadu Buhari?
If you look at the entire manifesto of our party, it is youth-centered. Now, you see, we would have loved to take off from day one. But these things need planning, it needs diligence, and what we met on ground is quite unsettling. You see, people come and say, oh, you just make allegations of corruption. No, we don't make allegations of corruption. We state the facts as they are.
Yeah, but that's a question. I mean, because yesterday you had just another statement released, you know, detailing what people would like to term fresh revelations of fresh cases of looting. I think that was how you captioned it. Yes. But then the question is, to what end are you listing these things? Because if the security agencies are already investigating and doing what they ought to do, why is your party so concerned about these figures and releasing it on a periodical basis to Nigerians?
They're very important. Number one, this is a nation that up to 4 or 5 years ago, I mean up to a few months ago, was celebrating corruption. Where people who are known to be corrupt were being celebrated. We are saying that it is wrong, and we are saying that these things are not started bad, and they'll be prosecuted. And we're also telling Nigerians why it is taking the government time to even start some of the projects that it ought to start immediately. We are saying that not only is the treasury empty, we are saying that people have looted this treasury and they must return the funds. And I think it bears repetition. These things are not started bad. We know that many people don't want to even hear about this.
They're not going to return the funds simply because your party listed
them. I look, then it needs to be not probably quite read my PR. And I said that the suspected people will appear in court very soon. No, you see, we had to.
So why don't you let them appear in court?
Oh, what is wrong in telling the world exactly what has happened?
Because what it looks like, and I think this is what the PDP is saying, is that, you know, it would seem that the economy is slowing down somewhat. It was just recently, the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics released growth figures. They've gone down again by another notch. They've really gone way back down from where they were sometime last year. And it would seem that they're saying that you're taking so much time because it would seem that you don't have ideas.
You see, number one, the report of the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics covered what period? April to June. Mm-hmm. Who was in charge in April and May? Jonathan administration. So if a 3-month report shows a decline, and we were in power for only 1 month, can you honestly say that we were responsible for that? 2, what has been responsible for the downturn in the economy? It started way back in July 2014. He talked about inflation. Inflation records have been going up since November 2014. They put together a mishmash of, you know, facts, and figures and numbers, not meaning that people can read behind these numbers. There's nothing which they have put down together talking about the decline in the economy that is not traceable to this administration, because they are even talking about just a report between April and June.
Who exactly are you referring to has put down this mishmash? Is it the PDP?
Of course, the PDP. Yes, the PDP, of course, I'm saying.
I was sincerely hoping it wasn't the NDS. They posed a challenge to you. They've been asking you to publish their handover notes given to the APC.
You see, there were over, if I'm correct, about 28,000 pages of very largely unreadable notes that were handed over to us. Let me tell you what they had. They didn't give us a document and say this is what we've done. No. What they did was that each ministry gave us piles and piles of documents to sort through. Not that they gave us a written notice that we are leaving, we have left before, you know, in this account, this much, these are the unfinished product. It was not that coordinated.
Would it be too much to ask that it be published?
Pardon?
Would it be too much to publish the 28,000 pages?
Would not be too much?
Would it be too much to publish?
I'm asking you to
put them online if you cannot publish them hard copy.
You see, please, 28,000 pages of what? let me give you an example, because I was a member of transition committee, and I was in charge of, my committee dealt with social issues, education, and the like. What they give you is, they'll give you a report saying how many parastatals are under this ministry, what was the budget last year. Then they will not tell you which contract was awarded, they will not tell you how much it was spent. They will not end up and say, this is how much we owe. A, B, C, D. And then another one, you could get a whole, report.
No.
So let me tell you,
it would be wouldn't it be good to allow Nigerians to decide what these documents are? If the PDP is challenging you to publish the document, and you say they are too much, why don't you just...
I'm not saying they are too much alone. I'm saying that there's nothing to publish there. I'm saying that the report, and I wish I had known, I would have come and given you example of that report. You can even hardly make sense of some of these reports. And you can ask any of my colleagues in the transition committee. Some reports will not even tell you how much was allocated to that ministry, how it was spent. You will not even, you get to know, all you get to know that, well, these are the contractors we owe money. In some. No. I think it was very, very, untidy and unwieldy. We had to make something out of it. It was out of it that we now made our own report, 8,000 pages.
There's so many things because this would have put to all of those allegations and talk if you had done a bit of explaining of what has transpired during the transition. Because look at the front page again of so many of these dailies. We're not afraid of Buhari, say ex-ministers, demand publication of handover notes.
Now, it's a small fact. Until the president started inviting heads of parastatals and finance secretaries, most of the facts that you are reading here were not contained in the notes that were given to us. Take, for instance, the issue of the $2.2 billion arms scandal that I spoke about yesterday. These were investigations that were unveiled by the investigation agencies. They were not in a report. Or talk about the $6.9 million scam involving 3 stages that was supposed to be bought, by the former CSO, the president. They were not included in the handover notes. Or talk about the $2.5 billion that was supposed to have been spent on, renting houseboats. So these were not contained there. If they were contained there, or if you had the time probably to, interrogate them, all this would not have happened.
We know we don't have time. We're closing this, but you would also agree that knowing full well that you're always media conscious and media friendly, shouldn't you have been able to put all of that, have a compendium of some of those matters that you just highlighted now, and put before the public to digest?
You see, every day, new scandals are unveiled. As they are unveiled, we tell the world. Don't forget that sometimes about 2 weeks ago, we came here and listed about almost 11 trillion naira worth of scams. We started with the 3.8 trillion that the NMPs was supposed to have returned to the coffers. We spoke about 183 billion naira that the Auditor General of the Federation spoke about that the NDC had to account for.
Which quite a number of people, sorry to interrupt you, Alhaji, but quite a number of people believe that more and more, if the APC as a party chooses to publicize these things, then perhaps they're not just being, investigated for the sake of it, for the sake of the rule of law. Perhaps these things are also being politicized.
Look, if you cannot do the time, don't do the crime.
That's good a place for us to wrap up this. Lai Mohammed, would like to thank you very much for coming in to Sunrise Daily. He's the National Publicity Secretary of the All Progressives Congress.